Likely already heard that Tiger Woods was involved in a single car crash in the Los Angeles area early yesterday morning. Suffered severe bodily harm specific to his right leg, and he is being worked on in his recovery. Jalen, please speak on behalf of not just us two, but the entire Jalen Jacoby family.
We just wanted to send prayers and well wishes to Tiger Woods and his family during this really difficult time. When I initially saw the car and the damage that was done, unfortunately, I thought it would be fatal. Glad that it isn't. Hopefully he has speedy recovery, healthy recovery, and we just wanted to acknowledge that.
Well put, Mr. Rose. Let's start the show. He's Jalen. I'm David Jacoby with Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we
make sure we give the people what they want.
Well, the NBA gave us the All-Star reserves. Start with the East Coast. Take a look at these players. While every single one of these Eastern Conference has had a great year, there seem to be maybe a couple tweaks that you would like to. Jalen, what's that?
Now I'm going to show you how the East Coast rocks a couple of things. The Boston Celtics have 2 All-Star reserves, and they're under 500. That never happened in the history of the NBA. Braxton is going to be on the hot seat. The second thing I want to say about the reserves is Google when Julius Randle got traded to the Knicks. There was one multimedia personality that said he got to the East, he was going to be an All-Star. Me. I thought it was going to happen last year, but it's happening this year. And as happy as I am to be right, and as happy as I am that the Knicks are playing better basketball, Domantas Sabonis should have Julius Randle's spot. You know it, and I know it. I'm going to tell you how this works. Tom Thibodeau is a coaching veteran around the league, and he has relationships with other coaches who vote. More relationships than the Pacers coach. That's the only reason why Randle is in Sabonis. Period, point blank. Yes, one plays in New York and one plays in Indiana, and you go to the large marketing and all of that. But the coaches actually vote. The same coaches decided that they would put in Julius Randle and reward him and Knicks, but not Sabonis, who's basically getting the same numbers, a better team without Karis LeVert. Okay? And so I'm a little disappointed that the coaches went this route, in particular for a squad that traded Oladipo. It doesn't matter what happened with Indiana. Sabonis has been consistent the entire season.
Well, don't feel too bad for Sabonis, Sixers fans, because after this year we might have some placement players, and I think that he would be at the top list. And that is a similar situation with what's on in the Western, because when you look at the Western Conference reserves, there's a name not listed that was pretty shocking to an eye. And who is that, Mr. Rose?
Devin Booker should be on for Chris Paul. So he did a great job of resurrecting his name in the last couple of years. And I'm going to tell you guys how being a public figure works. Carmelo Anthony to get picked up by the Portland Trailblazers, his reputation is a lot different than it is right now. You remember when Chris Paul, member of Lob City, had championship expectations. They didn't meet. The media and the public slandered his name. You remember when Chris Paul stopped? Houston. They had championship expectations. They didn't get done. Media slandered his name. He reinvented himself in OKC, not only with terrific leadership in play, but lower expectations. And so those expectations, and Phoenix done well in the bubble, allows the Suns to say, now let's go for it. Because we have Devin Booker, our go guy, our actual all-star, allows us to bring in Paul and bring in Crowder to go with the other player we've drafted in order to probably do something special. And those that haven't been paying attention, if the Phoenix Suns were in the Eastern Conference, they'd be the number 1 seed. Devin Booker to be voted on the All-Star team. I'm disappointed in the coach.
Absolutely. I also feel like Sabonis, but will eventually play in it, perhaps some others as well. But just minutes from now, on the jump, they will be announcing the rest of the NBA schedule. And Jalen, do you think they should extend the All-Star beyond the traditional All-Star break to accommodate the odd season?
Yes, they should, because the top players are the ones that it taxes the most. Not the squads that weren't invited to the bubble, not the squads that aren't in the playoff hunt already this year. The all-stars are the ones that actually need and deserve break. If they put basketball games, skills challenge, a dunk contest, and all those festivities on a Sunday, they at least get 7 full days off after that. Don't be surprised. And J&J, it's going to be breakthroughs for you fans. And you look at the bottom of the ticker, and you realize the players are trying to get that window from the 5th to the 10th extended from the 5th to the 14th. Stay tuned.
We will stay tuned because on the jump they will review the rest of the schedule. But there were some games last night, and this one game in particular that had me on the edge of my seat, and it was Luka Doncic hitting not just game winner, but also before the game winner, this huge step back three, and then from the exact same spot he shot down the Clippers, he had two Celtics defenders on hit the game winner. Luka's math been a little bit below expectations, but what you've seen from him last night and this season is encouraging.
You know how when great players, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, when I watched them play, initially as young players, and then all of a sudden they start to figure it out. And when you turn the game slows down to them, that's Luka plays the entire time. Like the game is slowed down to him. And he has the height and the bulk to finish in the paint, not rush, because he's not going to finish above the hoop. He's just not that kind of an athlete. And so he's playing in all phases, Jacoby. He's playing at the free line, playing at the top of the key. He's playing in the free line area, playing in the box area. And you know what else? That gentleman's fearless. And when you really look at the Mavs roster, I'm watching this game. The Celtics have a better roster than the Mavs. As a matter of fact, most of the teams that the Mavs play have a better roster than the Mavs. So for Luka to play the way he's been playing and to be starting the All-Star game, it is truly outstanding how he's grown as a player.
It really is. And he also seems to love the clutch moments like the person he's been compared to over the past week, Dame Lillard. Now, Jalen, the final score will not represent exactly how close this game was between the Kings and the Nets. And James Harden, again, a triple-double, seems to be playing some of the best basketball of his career. What's been so good about this fit with Harden?
Quite as it's kept. James Harden and Luka play really similar in a lot of ways. James is a volume three-point shooter as a member of the Rockets. But when he came to the net, they're literally charged with all doing the same thing for their teams, except Luka is charged to score more. And I appreciate the fact that James still gets other players involved. And we talked on this show about Brown, and he's a former Detroit Piston, and you watched him close. And I told you that he plays deep, but he also hustles, cuts. He does all the dirty work things you don't expect your stars to do. You know Joe Harris is going to spot and shoot threes. You still need somebody else that's going to mix it up. And at his height, actually what he's given, and it's been refreshing, in particular, out KD and Jeff Green.
What you're seeing right there, Bruce Brown realizing he had 29. I think he's mad because I was in this game and Kyrie Irving was setting him up for three, and he had a wide open, naked baseline three to him over 30 that he missed. But Bruce Brown, he's like by height. He's like 3'6'4". They use him as an old man in the role. Like you would think that'd be D.J. Jordan, that would be some other players, but they use him as a role man, and it's working for them. And he's so many layups because when you have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and soon to be Kevin Durant, that just opens up the three-pointers for Harris. Draws so much defense. Someone like Brown, who was on Pistons, can really thrive and put numbers like 29-point game, and he does so much that doesn't show the box score, much like a Draymond Green, plays tough defense. We have Street Seaport District of New York City, and brought to you by Chase. I'm back to Jalen Jacoby, who is joining us on the show, right?
Nick Vucevic on the Orlando Magic. And Jacoby, here's what he's going to give me 24-point game, give me almost 12 boards, and shoot 40% from three. Anybody that watches this program, I tell you, not only is he one of the best players in the league and deserves to be an all-star, when you start talking about top centers, some respect on his name.
He is right there. Nicola, thank you so much for joining the show. You were announced as an all-star reserve yesterday. What did it feel like to be an all-star the second time?
Amazing feeling. Huge honor to be selected among, some of the best players in the league. For my second time, especially, I all-starred 2 years ago. So it's great to be back. I'm, very proud of it. And, obviously a huge thank, to my mates and the coaching staff putting me in a position to see.
Big fella, thank you for joining the show. And I mentioned you're the league leader. And not only 2-point field goals, you got a great post game in a mid-range game, but also 3-point field goal. How has the game evolved for a big man like yourself?
Well, over the last 5-6 years, the game has definitely changed. The 3-point shot has become, part of the game. Team to look for that. And, at first, I was shooting many threes. It was almost forbidden for me. You could maybe name a handful of guys who were shooting threes. And, like 4 or 5 years ago, talking to, I went back then, it was our coach. He had suggested I extend, my range to a 3-shot because I was already one of the mid-range man in the NBA. At first I was a little uncomfortable. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it and how it would work. But, once I started working on it consistently, I saw that, it could be something I could get to. And it took, 2 years for me to, get comfortable shooting that shot. I guess for my teammates to get used to making that shot, and for us to kind of understand just going to be part of, how we play. And I think last year obviously was a big turning for myself, and especially playoffs here against Milwaukee. Was making 3-4 threes a game, and I saw the fact that it had. And so coming to this year, I knew that if I continue that, it'd have a huge impact not only on myself but also on our team. I think definitely had. I think with the that we have, a lot of guys are a very good driver, good cutters, opens up the paint. It's a big man now paying me, and there's so much spacing to play. And I mean, me so help me obviously with the shot itself, but so drive to the paint, making plays for myself and others. It's been a huge addition to my game for sure.
You and your team have a game against the Nets tomorrow. How do you game plan against such an explosive offense that features Kyrie and Harden?
Yeah, definitely going to be one of the toughest games played this year. We saw it once. Kyrie was out, but they had KD. I'm not sure if KD plays tomorrow or not, but even without him, see when you have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, along with all the others they have, it's it's a very tough team to prepare for. But for us, I mean, every game, but especially tomorrow, we just have to bring it defensively. We know that we're not going to go there and outscore them. We have to limit them as much as we can of the offensive end, and then take it from there. But they've been playing great ball. I mean, they're probably playing best ball with Utah in the air right now. So it'll be a big test for us, one we're looking forward to. We've been playing the last few weeks, so hopefully have a good game tomorrow.
What do you feel like it's going to take for your squad currently outside the 80 in the Eastern Conference to solidify itself as a playoff team? What would you like to see happen on the floor with your team?
I think for us, we have games when we play really well defensively, and then it helps our offense as well. And then we have games when we just don't bring enough. We do it for maybe a quarter or two, a couple minutes here and there. It's not for 48. We're just not that team that, you have some greats that, they're okay for 3 quarters, and then they just turn it on in the end. And to win, we don't have the jury. And that's what happened last night. We had great games where we, great ball against 3 very good teams. We were able to get 3 wins in a row. Last night, we just didn't have that. And so I think what we need to understand is that for us, it has to be every night. We can't have, a night out, sure, but not even the quarter for something. We have to play well on the defensive end every game. That's where our chance is going to be. And when we defend well, we give ourselves a chance. So that's what it has to be. It doesn't sound like fun ball all the time. Everybody wants to go shoot nowadays there and score 120 and have these huge scoring games, but that's not how we are. That's how we built it, especially with injuries. They've changed for us. So I think we can do it. Hopefully we understand it, like we have made strides in the last couple of weeks, and hopefully we continue to do that.
You've done so much for the city of Orlando and the franchise. You put huge numbers. You're a 2-time All-Star, yet you still end up in trade rumors time to time. What does it feel like to hear your name potentially trade?
I was traded after my rookie year was a while ago. It was over summer, but it's part of it. I mean, last year's I didn't hear as many rumors, but before that, I felt like it was almost every day was something new. I was going here or there, or same plays, their packages. It was a lot of things. And first, you're like, oh, why? But then eventually you understand it's part of the business, and it's what happens. To make trades at the time, and to restart or making themselves better. So it's part of it. I mean, I honestly don't pay attention much to it. I have no control over it. It's whatever you decide to do, and. So, I mean, I saw some usually people send to me. I don't really, try to go look at them, but it doesn't really affect me much. For now I'm here and I'm happy to be here. If something was to happen, I know the rumors are true. You just have to move and go with it. But it's not something I have attention to it much.
Fella, like all fans and multimedia that enjoy the game, you saw the All-Star starter announced. You saw reserves be announced. Is there a player in the East or the Western Conference that you feel like got snubbed?
I think in the East, I don't know if, we say snub because many players deserve to be, and there was going to be for sure a guy that, was going to left out that's, was disappointed. But, obviously like Sabonis had a great year and, deserved to be in it, Tobias Harris, he does be in it. But it's just those people that, have had great season. I don't remember last, even since I've been in the NBA, there's been as many people that can make it, especially in the East. I mean, even Trae Young, he's put up big numbers. And so it's the middle also. So it's a lot of guys, but, I think the guys that made it deserve to make it. So that's why I don't know if we can really use the snub. Mm-hmm. In West, I mean, I'm surprised, that Devin didn't make it. I mean, he's having a great year. Phoenix has been great here as well. But, I mean, it's every year there's people that you can say, they've been snubbed, they're to be in it, they weren't. But doesn't mean that the guy's in it, doesn't deserve to make it. It's just, it's hard. There's only 12 spots and so many, players that play great every year. And so it's difficult. Every year you're going to feel like somebody should have made it. I didn't. So it's not easy, for a coach to decide for sure.
Well, congratulations on making it yourself. I want to say thank you so much for the time to join us in Jalen Jacoby.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot.
And
appreciate the love.
Nikola Vucevic is not the only Nikola tearing up the league. We'll discuss the other one in the Western Conference. Jokic last night, he put in 41. How do you stop this guy?
I try to help you all I can, but I can do nothing for you, man. Stop the Joker. Here's the thing I want to point out to you. For those who act they love the game. Kobe Bryant scores 81 points. 8 of them are on me. And the whole world teases me like all 81 were on me. Take it, because Kobe Bryant legend. All up. Do you realize Enes Kanter got 39 of those 40 points scored on? You know that? So
know that.
When you hear somebody tease me about 81, remember, he got 39 scored him last night.
Ooh, I'm sorry to the King family. We'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. on ESPN.